Look, okay, I'm back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces bustin' out the scene. New life is something like a dream. Back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces bustin' out the scene. New life is something like a dream. New life is something like a dream. New life is something like a new life is something like a dream. New life is something like a dream. I am not friendly, I came for the paper, little baby, don't get it confused. I see them paying to play, they be paying for pussy, my nigga, I'm paying my dues. They cannot see me unless I'm on TV in times when they happen to turn on the news. I am not worried about shit but the money, cause you cannot buy shit with all of them views. I've been on 10 like 4th grade, same nigga but I'm more paid. Lame niggas throwing more shade, but you know it don't faze me. I'm blowing out gas to the whole whip hazy, with a new chick cause my old bitch crazy. Just a young player that the west side made me, but how could you blame me and how could you tame me? You can't pop in that pussy, you claim you a saint. Do what they can and they hate what they ain't, but I am the greatest, that ain't for debate. Raising the stakes and I'm eating them too. Hitters on deck, what you need them to do. Fuck all that talking, I leave it to you, cause I gotta go, got a meeting at 2. Tell me why all of the shit that you saying don't never match up with that shit that you do. We mobbing and thugging, you bitching and bugging, there's nothing that we got in common. I've been out grinding and hustling, investing this paper, got tired of eating that ramen. All of my music be heat, I ain't missing a beat, I've been blessed with impeccable timing. Watch all them people who friendly, it turn into envy whenever they see that you shining. Okay, I'm back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces bustin' out the scene. New life is something like a dream. Back out fresh on the scene. Look, okay, I'm back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces bustin' out the scene. New life is something like a dream. Back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces bustin' out the scene. New life is something like a dream. New life is something like a dream. New life is something like a new life is something like a dream. New life is something like a dream. I am not friendly, I came for the paper, little baby, don't get it confused. I see them paying to play, they be paying for pussy, my nigga, I'm paying my dues. They cannot see me unless I'm on TV in times when they happen to turn on the news. I am not worried about shit but the money, cause you cannot buy shit with all of them views. I've been on 10 like 4th grade, same nigga but I'm more paid. Lame niggas throwing more shade, but you know it don't faze me. I'm blowing out gas to the whole whip hazy, with a new chick cause my old bitch crazy. Just a young player that the west side made me, but how could you blame me and how could you tame me? You can't pop in that pussy, you claim you a saint. Do what they can and they hate what they ain't, but I am the greatest, that ain't for debate. Raising the stakes and I'm eating them too. Hitters on deck, what you need them to do. Fuck all that talking, I leave it to you, cause I gotta go, got a meeting at 2. Tell me why all of the shit that you saying don't never match up with that shit that you do. We mobbing and thugging, you bitching and bugging, there's nothing that we got in common. I've been out grinding and hustling, investing this paper, got tired of eating that ramen. All of my music be heat, I ain't missing a beat, I've been blessed with impeccable life too quick, ride around my new shit. Lemonade, my cognac, hitters in my contact. Live it up, life too quick, ride around my new shit. Lemonade, my cognac, hitters in my contact. numbers in your trash can. I've been through since yesterday. A clock, little bitch, I'm on one. Stacking paper like I'm trying to take it on the long run. Think I'm on the road like butter, baby, land a lake. I'm like motherfucker, government, a hater, and a Jake. I've been off the antidote, I got no time to annotate. Got a feeling choosy, I think I'm the greatest candidate. Live it up, life too quick. Right around my new shit. Lemonade, my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up, life too quick. Right around my new shit. Lemonade, my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up, life too quick. Right around my new shit. Lemonade, my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up, life too.
Welcome back into the stream. Oh, I forgot something. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of We-On-Loc Nation. Of course, we got to talk about it. I've been hearing it for quite some time now from a couple of YouTube candidates, and names don't really have to be mentioned on TV. About this whole African versus African American thing. Now, keep in mind, all of us are African at some form or other. We are all the same race or nationality. But if I really were to tell you, we are, let's just put it out there. If I put it out there and I told you we were Moors, you would probably say, what? I'm no Moor. I'm an American. No, I'm a Black American. No, I'm an African American. Label yourself whatever you want to label yourself. But at the end of the day, you're realizing what it is to not have shit. And you're expecting people to give you shit. That's just the fucking thing. We're sitting here on our live streams arguing back and forth about how Africans come over here to the United States of America and just let me get this perfectly clear. Let me get this straight, what people are saying. These people on the streets are saying that Africans do not like Americans. Africans don't fuck with Africans, don't mess with us. Oh, really? Africans, they don't want to share resources. Africans, they get credits, and then they get tax cuts, and they get this, and then they get that. They don't want any part of us because they claim that we are lazy. Some of you niggas are lazy. Yes, some of you niggas are lazy. And quite rightfully so. But that does not mean that he meant that these people that come from the because I'm going to tell you the truth. Many people who come from Mother Africa, they have the same struggles as we do. They suffer, they pay tax just like we do. Only thing is, we know here in America, blacks here in America are white folks' greatest threat. So we endure suffering a little longer than Africans do. But then there are some people who come from America or come to America, excuse me, and they like to talk shit. You know why they like to do it? You know why they like to do that? You know why people believe what they believe when they say that Africans are greater than us? It's the simple fact that when they come over here, it in they absorb, that's the word I'm looking for. They absorb a lot of BS from American culture. They absorb and they take all that toxicity and yeah, just soak it up. Michael Blackston is one of them. He's a comedian. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's funny, but he ain't that damn funny. But that's what some of these Africans do when they come over here. That's what they do. They just soak up a lot of shit, a lot of toxicity, a lot of, bad habits, and they roll with it. But other Africans that clearly that I've met, working hard is all they ever do. They have a 9 to 5 just like me and you. But when we go over to Africa, they treat us just the exact same as when Africans come over to America. The only thing about it is there's certain things that you wouldn't want to bring, like your attitude. People go out on the street and they say, well, African life, let's say it's like in Sydney or in Ghana or in the Congo or somewhere around there. I've had a good time. I've had a good time walking the streets of Sydney. I had a good time walking in the streets of Ghana and all those other places. But when I speak to them, you expect American slang. You expect Africans to throw cuss words out. It's not the same culture. What they do is they adapt. They do adapt your culture. Some of them over there do adapt your culture, which is very, very stupid. Well, it all depends on what culture we're adapting. And speaking of culture, some say we don't have a culture, right? But what is it when you come over here to the United States of America and they want to share information with you and they talk with their native tongue? What do you usually say? What up, Muslim? What do you usually say? Oh, I don't even. What you saying? Can't you speak English? That's what you do with the Chinese. That's what you do with the Japanese. That's what you do with the Indians. That's what you do with the Arabs. You expect them to speak the same English. So what they do is they go to school, they practice their English, and then they watch television, and then they adapt the I don't know, the Nicki Minaj's of the world, the Ty Dolla Sign. Shouts out to Ty Dolla Signs. I saw him the other day. They adapt the Futures of the world. They adapt rock and roll and stuff like that. That's what they adapt to. They the pimpology. Oh, some of these Africans are the greatest pimps. Let me tell you. This is Super Bowl week, right? I caught an African. Okay, cool. I caught an African, right? Let me turn my camera on. Shit. I caught an African with a pimp cane on. There we go. I caught an African with a pimp cane on. He was looking like a African pimp named Slickback. I mean, and he had two girls with him. I said, hot damn. But that's what they adapt. That's what they adapt. But we do realize there are different Africans that live in this country. Haiti, Jamaican. Let me start off with my Haiti. Haiti, they live near us, right? They do the exact same thing that we do. Although they have the thing is, they have a very large. So when we get into this discussion about who hates who, it would be suitable for you to get along with your neighbor. I don't believe if you go over there, and I wish I had EK to come over here and have a conversation with. I'm going to a concert tonight, so that's why I wanted to do this live. I was going to do it late night, but I got a concert to go to. Shat is supposed to have a comedy special, and I'm going to it. Sidebar: DL Hughley will be in attendance, and if he goes off on Monique, I'm gonna have such a good time. But anyway, back to this. So I've been off of the internet for a while, right? And I hear these cats all the time. I hear all the Mike TVs of the world. I hear all the chaotic troops in the world saying that African booty, the African booty scratches, they are so, afraid of what you call them, FBAs, and how the FBAs are taking over, and how we're the original people of America, blah, 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 blah. You read in what you read into. I say, this is what separation means. It's bad enough that we're talking about black man versus black woman. But when it comes to these foul creatures who have low labels on us, who have a distinct hatred for Africans, you do realize that when you hate on an African, you're hating on yourself. No, it's a different culture. We're Americans. No, you're not. The word America didn't exist until what, 1884? This was a different type of America. Some say the Indians were here before, Africans were. Some say that the Africans were here before Indians. Some say that the Indians are Africans. There are some. But the one thing you will catch is what? You will catch Indian casinos. Tahoe casinos. Navajo casino. We have a casino in Lansing, Michigan. I've been to it plenty of times. You will never catch a Negro casino. You know why? Because we're too busy arguing amongst each other. I ain't gonna lie. We did have a casino. It's called the D Hotel. Was owned by a black man. He ended up having a heart attack, passing away. The Stuff got passed down to the wife. The wife didn't want it, and everybody was arguing this and that, and they just took the money. See how we can't have shit? We had shit for so long that we just want the money. Who owned BET? I forgot the brother that owned BET. Right? Sold it off to some Chinese company. I don't know. Before we can hate on African people, we have to look ourselves in the mirror. We definitely have to look ourselves in the mirror, and we have to ask ourselves a couple of questions. Why do we hate on ourselves so much? What can we do to get along, to get along, to get along? What can we do? Because before long, we're gonna be completely separated. F talking about relationships. F talking about black man and black woman is God, and we're here, us men are here first. We should be pampered. No, we should be pampered. You're not going to exist anymore. I guarantee that. Excuse me, I am very dumbfounded. Now, one of these, boy, oh boy, one of these Negroes here, boy, Cameron. When I first heard this shit, I had to take a back seat.
Of course not. And then the folks tell them when they come here, stay away from them black Americans. Leave them alone. You know, you can do things good by yourself. Don't talk to them. Don't whatever. Then when some of them have got over here, don't marry black Americans. Stay away from the Akata, the Jareer, and all that sort of thing. So when black Americans heard that,
African.
Shouts out to the black, or is it the African diaspora? Shouts out to them.
That's priority, honestly. I'm glad he's okay. We want him to get better, but we don't want no criminal shit getting assigned to him. Period.
D, is that you?
And that's very important right now.
D, is that you?
Sylvia is there.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
All right. Is that your background or is that mine?
No, that's me, man. I
Okay.
was trying to wait, man. I tell you what, let me come back in a quieter situation. I'll be back.
All right. Well, while D gets that situated, let's play this little clip of Cameron the rapper. I mean, he was one of my favorite rappers until
and everything. So let's get to our brother Cameron here, because I want to let that video play, because some people may not have seen this video. And then after I let the video,
and you know what? I've been gone for so long. I forgot to put this damn thing up. Ain't nobody in the audience tell me to put the fair use of
play, I'm going to play it again, but then I'm going to be stopping at certain points for certain reasons. So let me go ahead on and cue this video up. And come on, where we at?
A few minutes in. I'd rather feeling black than African American, because Africans don't even f with us.
Wow.
Because they don't.
And Americans do?
Well, you're American, Mace. You're born in America. When you go to the Olympics, and when I say African American, you go over there, they call us Yankees and all that. They with us, but we're not from the motherland. We're from America. So I'd rather say I'm a black American. When we go to the Olympics as a country, and somebody black is fighting from the United States, you don't say African American, you say American. You don't even put a color on it. It's an American fighter fighting a European fighter, or China or Japanese or anything. You're known in the Olympics as an American. It doesn't matter what color you are. You're an American fighting against somebody from Cameroon or Senegal, whatever. The point being is they don't categorize it when it's world competition, but when it's other needs to be categorized. So I consider myself a black American. I don't consider myself African American. And shout out to.
Okay. I would like to get people's thoughts. His was so funny. And please feel free to chime in. This is a free chime in session. This is a free chime in session. So you agree with him? Okay. Why do you agree with Cameron? Because we were born here in America. So are you saying that, is he saying, because he's the one that spoke up, is our nationality, what is our nationality? Because it's nationality and status are two different things. Being an American, that's your status. Being black, that would be your status. Being white, that would be your status. Being Asian, that would be your status. What is your nationality? He did not explain that. So many people are so quick to pick up the American gun. Not me. The way I read history, it's simply this. We were brought here in America, not everyone was born here in America as not mindless slaves because our minds weren't being took yet. Our minds were not being took yet. So we weren't slaves, but we were, let's just say we were captured Africans. Forget, not some, not all. NAB says, because my ancestors from slavery days go back hundreds of years, at what generation do we take on the nationality of the land we were born on? When I speak, of course, I said again, I am American. I was born here in American. But what is our nationality? From what I was told, and for what is certain to be true, we were here way before the Indians were. So therefore, Africans migrated all over the countryside, all over the North Americans, all over the South Americans. There are more Africans in South America, because that's where they migrated from. You can be American, but guess what? America's going to treat you like that. Comes with everything. That comes with the joy of getting money, getting resources, getting all that, getting the fruits of thy labor. But it also comes with your ancestors being smoked, your ancestors being hung, your ancestors being decapitated, your ancestors getting less education, your ancestors getting, incarcerated. Malcolm, I wish Malcolm and Martin were here. because we have no true leaders anymore. Our true leaders would tell you your position. True leaders would, excuse me, I said that wrong. True leaders would tell you our position in America. And I'm not talking Jesse Jackson. I'm not speaking no Jesse Jacksons. I'm not speaking of any Al Sharptons, because Al Sharpton is not. Even Oprah, yeah, I said it. Even Oprah, they are not our leaders, because they cannot tell you the position or what position we are in as what nationality we are. They're going to say we are African Americans. I heard Taz said the other day, no, we're Black Americans. Very, very interesting. But if I told you the color, if I told you, if I emphasized that that when we call ourselves Black, I was going to ask you this specific question. What does that mean? What do you think the word Black means, or where it originated from? That's why I left God. That's why I let God lead me and not man. Now, I give you that. I definitely give you that, because you're supposed to let God lead you. But God also gave you the tools and the wits to jog up as much information in the brain before you were 25. Before you were 25, your brain was constantly developing over time. From 2nd to 12th grade to college, your brain was being developed, and you were soaking all the information in your mind. When you're past 25, when you're past a certain age, it's like it doesn't develop anymore, but you can still add on as much information as you can. Right? Let's continue the video.
That all my niggas Africa, much love, but y'all don't consider us real African or China, or, and when I say African American, you go over there, they call us Yankees and all that. They with us, but we're not from the motherland. We're from America. So I rather say I'm a Black American. When we go to the Olympics as a country, and somebody Black is fighting from the United States, you don't say African American, you say American. You don't even put a color on it. It's an American fighter fighting a European fighter, or China or Japanese or anything. You're known in the Olympics as an American. It doesn't matter what color you are. You're an American fighting against somebody from Cameroon or Senegal, whatever. The point being is they don't categorize it when it's world competition, but when it's other needs to be categorized. So I consider myself a Black American. I don't consider myself African American. And shout out to all my niggas in Africa, much love. But y'all don't consider us real Africans.
All right. So you heard everything he had to say. So now I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to stop it at certain points and interject, because there's a lot of things that he said in here. So let's start it again.
Honest with you. I'm be totally honest with you. And I know we got to get back to our topics. We already a few minutes in.
Here, and we thinking in our mind, they will come here and be assistance to us in the struggle as Black people, right? But when they came here, they wasn't trying to get involved with any of that. They parents, the ones that mostly came here first, which they were vetted by the U.S. Embassy. That's what people don't realize. They vet these people that come in and make sure they don't let in the Julius Malema types. They want to bring in the Candace Owens. They will bring in the Jesse Lee Petersons. That's who they're bringing over here. So since they're bringing that over here, of course they don't want to get with us. Of course not. And then the folks tell them when they come here.
I haven't heard that name, Jesse Lee Peterson, in a good minute. You know the Jesse Lee Peterson, the guy that is in his, I believe he's still in his 60s. He might be in his 70s. But the guy that just looks, the guy looks terrible, man. But, you know, he's consistent. I will give him this. He is very consistent with his coonery. You have to give yourself to God. And you are not being threatened by a white man. The white man is a good person. I never said that the white man was a good or bad person. I just said white men in today's generation, not realizing that, of course, they're not victims, but they do benefit over their ancestries throughout the years, plummeting, stealing, and killing and destroying, you know, our African ancestry. Anything that was rich and vibrant and had certain information that was suitable to them, they took. Everything else, they threw in the garbage. Jesse Lee, aka Clint Bixby. Yes, foreign niggers. But honestly, if I told you what the word black means, and I'm gonna stick this to your thick skulls, until you get it into your thick skull, that if you looked in the black dictionary, in Black Webster's dictionary, the Black Webster's dictionary, thing costs about $200. But if you look in the in the Webster's dictionary, you do realize that you call yourself a paleface. Pale is close to nothing. So when you say I'm a Black American, so you're a nothing? Is that what you call yourself? Are we indigenous? Are we Moors? Are we Israelites? What are we? And this is the reason why he don't get respect from Americans. And then you turn around and Africans are coming over here to this country to migrate and to make either to visit or make their lives a little bit better. And you automatically say they don't fuck with us. That is crazy. Now, there are some Africans who do, like I said, come up off the rip and they act a doggone fool. I will admit that. But it ain't the majority. It's the minority of them. Because they adapt this toxic system and they adapt today's culture. Our culture. Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion. Who's the one that got pregnant? Sexy Red. We go to the men's side. Puff Daddy. There are too many Puff Daddies in the world. Good Lord. They adapted the Puff Daddies. They adapted the I don't know, the French Montanas, the Drakes. They, video games full of such, and the movie industry. When most of them, they come here and they work. They work and they don't bother nobody. They don't bother nobody, but we need to, at some point, we need to link up sources. We do. We need to link up as much sources from our African brothers and sisters as much as we possibly can. Because I tell you what, I got more footage coming for you. And what I want you to hear and to absorb, we got time. What I want you to hear and I want you to absorb is that we can get along with anyone who is African, because we are just that. We can claim to be American, we can claim to be black, we can claim to be this, we can claim to be that, we can claim to be an alien, because believe it, most of these motherfuckers believe that we're alone. Nigga, please stop. Just stop. We are not by ourselves.
Stay away from them Black Americans. Leave them alone. You know, you can do things good by yourself. Don't talk to them. Don't whatever. Then when some of them have got over here, don't marry Black Americans. Stay away from the Akata, the Jareer, and all that sort of thing. So when Black Americans heard that, that was actually, whether they admit this to you or not, those of you who could be listening globally and throughout the world, that actually hurt Black Americans because, listen, we're rejected by the white supremacists. That's fine. We don't want to be with him. But our own people rejected us. Our own people that look, it's even worse when supposedly our own people that come from the motherland reject us, supposed to know better than that. And yet they kept rejecting us. We're talking about in America. I'm not talking about the continent. This is an American conversation right now. We'll get to the continent later. So you keep doing something, when you keep rejecting a person, when you keep hurting them, when you act like you're better than them, right? When you do that, eventually a person's going to respond by saying, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm going to accept it. You don't want to, be with us. You don't look at us as family. You don't, like we look at you as family. So that's fine. No problem. We kind of got over the hurt and pain of that, because that is hurtful when family rejects you, right? So now sometimes the hurt.
And my friends, that is very, very sad. Because you don't want family rejecting you. And you definitely don't want our African brothers and sisters to reject you either. Because who are you going to go to? What resources will you run to? I'm just asking the question. But they don't fuck with. We can go to the wife. You're trying to do the early stages of Martin Luther King. And I am so sorry, that girl, I wasn't even paying attention. Shouts out to that girl. I need salute. So now I'm gonna throw in something else. Now I want people to pay attention to this next thing, right? I want people to start paying attention to this next little clip. And it has our boy Charleston White on it. Now, I want you to pay attention to what, when he goes into his diatribe, his old little soliloquy, and shouts out to him and everything, but there's a time and a place for everything, right? And we wonder why Africans get an attitude. Who do they get that from? They get this attitude from this nigga. And oh, by the way, while we're sitting here fighting amongst each other, fighting about who's indigenous, who's Black American, who's African American, who's indigenous, who's this and who's that, guess who picks up on it? Guess who has the litigated goal I mean, he might as well. White people might as well just start writing a book on. Is that what we are? Are we serious? I don't want anybody white writing a book on us, but it happens. So whenever a white person does a story on us, it's just like he's laughing. It's like, this is very interesting. I mean, look at this. Look at this shit.
Africans and African Americans. This is the difference.
What the hell? Do I have a problem with this? Yes, I do. But what can you do when you have a culture, a game, a culture of us arguing amongst each other, which we should have no business arguing about who we are. We should just do research. Or stop, or you just, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking with your experiences, not mine, with your experiences, you just end up going to whoever you go to. And you try to throw that American lingo in somebody's way, in an African's way. Of all the Africans that I speak to, especially where I work, we have zero problems connecting with one another. Zero. No problems whatsoever freaking ever. We got a lot of work to do, but look at this shit.
Right here. Watch.
Only to realize, nigga, I don't like my people. I'm trying to connect with my kind.
Talking to you.
This is the thing, Charles. Like, I think everything that you're saying has some truth to it. It's just the delivery. Standing, there's no denying that you're standing for.
I seen this guy, Cam, I forgot what this brother's name was. I've seen him too many times, and let me tell you, this boy is tall as hell. And he brings the finest women. He brings the most finest women to the casino. But the boy need to cut his head.
And buy.
I was playing.
Your people. Well, here's the thing. When you're addressing evil, you can't worry about the delivery. When you're looking at the conditions of our community, you can't worry about the evil when you got kids that kill kids and say we smoking on Tuka. See, they wasn't worried about the delivery when these kids in Chicago were talking about smoking on Tuka. Mm-hmm. They weren't worried about the delivery. I ain't got no manners for no shit. I'm gonna put my thumb in her butt. The delivery? I like girls kissing girls where I'm from, and that's on the radio. Girls on girls, that's promoting lesbianism to my daughter as we driving to school. This song they playing with Drake. Y'all worried about the delivery? These niggas talking about killing each other. They really, that nigga Thug said, nigga, I shot at your mama. You don't mention me no more. He really shot that nigga mama. And y'all worried about my delivery? These niggas are confessing to murders on songs. And y'all worried about my delivery? The conditions of black sucking them talking about booty hole. Y'all worried about my delivery? Come on, don't be hypocrites, black people. Y'all can't listen to this music if y'all so caught up in my delivery. Don't do me like that. And the way y'all snap and pop y'all to this music, the way y'all kill and drill to this music, don't trip about my delivery. Hey, yo, Easy, why you wear your pants like that? I wear my pants like that because that's easy access, baby. Easy, why you talk like that? I talk like that to get my point across.
That's who. That's what Africans from Africa run into. That's what they run into all the time. That's what they absorb all the time. Not all, but some. Some are some are religious, some of them, they follow God or whatever. They follow, a certain religion. They believe in certain things that whatever they do in their home is what they do in their home. But for the ones that come over, you got the ones that come over here, and like I said, it's just like it's a good time to them. But they don't know, and what they don't realize is the culture that is of today is very, very toxic. Very, very toxic indeed. And it's going to get much worse. But do you think he's right, or do you think he is wrong with what he is saying? Charleston White, he goes up off the cuff, but is he wrong? I would just like to know, is he wrong with what he's saying?
Because when I wasn't talking like that, wearing a bow tie, y'all wasn't paying me no attention, and I was going to the Supreme Court changing laws and legislations in this country. I was working with over 50 U.S. congressional members, from Ted Cruz to Mark Rubio, Senator John Cornyn. I was on the front page of the American Bar Association Journal. I had done a study with News 21, Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. Y'all wasn't paying attention then. So, nigga, I gave y'all what y'all want. A ignorant nigga that talk like them rappers. Now y'all listening. Now y'all paying attention, huh? I got y'all attention. Checkmate. Now let me tell y'all what y'all need to hear. We f***ed up as a race of people since y'all so caught up into my delivery. 5% of children now are catching HIV from ages 13 to 21. What y'all worried about? 85% of the new chlamydia, all the new cases are teenagers. What y'all so caught up about? Nigga, only 35% of most kids in inner cities can read on or above their grade level. What the y'all talking about? These kids can't read. Come on, my nigga. So if we gonna be real, let's be real.
Let's talk about it. I had a thought in my mind when she talking about having thumbs up their asses. A lot of this generation likes talking about eating ass and shit like that's disgusting. And they don't mind catching. This generation doesn't mind catching STIs and STDs and whatever have you. They just figure, if I get burned, I get burnt. Now I can just take my medicine and keep on looking. Do you realize there's still herpes out there, muff? Herpes hurts. I don't know. I'm just saying. Never had herpes. Never had a disease in my life. Knock on wood. But you got. That's what Africans absorb over here. So, but I'm just gonna ask you this question also. Who do you think is worse? Now we're gonna continue, and we're gonna continue on to what Africans are saying. Right? We're gonna continue that, and when we continue that, I want you to think of this question. I'm going to ask you: do you think, or my bad, who do you think is more worse? African Americans? When it comes to our culture, you think African Americans are worse or Africans? Or does it make a difference? We're all in the same boiling pot. Africans, African Americans, or are we all in the same boiling pot together? When it comes to our culture, our way of life, good, bad, and indifferent, who do you think is more work? Who do you think is going to suffer the worst consequences? Here in America or over there in Africa? Let's continue.
Come on, my nigga. I'm starting to resent black people.
Don't do that.
Nigga, next year I'm gonna be hollering black people. Cause
you gotta let me know what you think about Charleston White's view on these things, right?
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. You know it's bad when you got white people writing your story. When you got white folks doing a live show on us and our attitude. Damn shame, man.
Right now,
and we want to so badly get along to get along. Is he here yet? No, he's not here yet. We want to so badly get along to get along with our oppressor. Got his hat backwards like he's cool. They all, yeah. Next thing you know, you want to do like in that, I don't know if you've seen Black Dynamite, the cartoon, but you got Mr. Rogers performing Wonka Flonka songs. Jesus Christ. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do.
Because personally, bam, they hit me in the head. They hit every American that I can think of, that I know of, in the head and just in the mind, to make you think about the delivery. Because we think about Donald Trump, his delivery is wrong. The way he says it is wrong, this and that. But when you're talking about the truth, when you're talking about real matters like that, it don't matter about the delivery. I love that. I think that's a beautiful thing. Now, Africa right now is doing the same thing with Traore. Is doing the same thing with Museveni. He's doing the same thing over in Mali. He's doing the same thing in Niger. They're doing it all to throw off the delivery. The delivery doesn't matter to them anymore. What does is the actions and the consequences for their actions, which they're looking for freedom on right now, which the whole world is watching Africa right now because they don't care about their delivery no more. And I like the way he said checkmate, because that's the way Africa is looking like it's got America right now, and the UK and France and all those European and Western colonized nations that went into Africa. What do you think? I'm going to let this thing roll. And I want more comments, and I want more likes, and I want more shares on this, because this thing's got to go global, because it touches and reaches everybody that's listening to this right now. I think Charleston White is hitting the nail on the head. What do you think? Let me know, guys. Like, subscribe, and let's.
I'm going to present a challenge to myself. And that challenge is anybody who is caught talking this African, what was it? This African American shit. I want you to ask yourself a question. Better yet, let's do this. Anybody who proclaims that Africans don't get along with African Americans, I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to ask, so how many cities have you been in? How many people have you reacted or have communicated with? And what was the communication about? How were you communicating? Were you talking like you were talking back home to all your homies? Because they don't get that. Africans in Africa, when you come over there and you talk all that rah shit, they don't get that. They're not gonna get it. But then you have those ones who are in Africa, who've been to America, who are going to get it. And guess what? It's going to spread. That's why what Umar Ifa Tunde talked about a long time ago, he said, I don't run into those type of problems. And he's been to Africa dozens of times. What they don't want is you bringing your basketballs over there, your footballs over there, your weaves over there, your wigs, your lace fronts, whatever you call them, right? They don't want you over there with that. Come as you are. Come as you are. Talk like you got some sense, and maybe, just maybe, they might respect you.
Keep going with this video.
Come on, my nigga. I'm starting to resent black people.
Don't do that.
Nigga, next year I'm gonna be hollering black people because they the most hypocritical, fakest motherfucking people in the world. Because if any motherfucker mad about what I'm saying and can like Lil Durk, can listen to King, nigga Nipsey Hussle say I'm gonna turn all these into lesbian. I started not liking that nigga when I heard him say that. Nigga, you'll turn all the hoes into lesbian. He said I'm gonna turn all these into lesbian. Nigga, not my black queens. Maybe you ain't got no black mama. I got a black mama, nigga.
Another big boom, boom. Another huge issue. That's the video. I will not interrupt.
Eastfield Police Training Academy. I train a state juvenile correction officer. Yeah, I sacrifice a lot for my people. Only to realize, nigga, I don't like my people. I'm trying to connect with my kind. See, there's a whole species of birds. Those are my people. But my kind is you got red birds and bluebirds, and red birds and bluebirds don't fly together. I'm looking for my kind amongst my people. So I don't give a fuck about my people. I'm looking for my kind.
And let's come up with a rule. Don't say what you won't say in their face.
Dion. And I said a nigga face because I'm.
Okay, we're going to leave that part alone. Because there's Americans who fend for themselves. I get it. You got a family to look after. I get that. And then there are those Americans who will try just as hard to do research on their ancestry. What Charleston White is specifically talking about is when he says he wants to look for his kind, he wants to look for kind-hearted, peaceful people who do nothing but work their asses off to get to where they are with minimal violence and just great communication skills. But here's the contradicting part about the brother here. Here's the contradicting part. When you talk about children the way that you do, and we won't go into details, when you talk about kids the way that you do, when you talk about young girls the way that you do, you say you do and say all this, but then we find you lifting up a midget and filling ass. We find you getting in the van with all these women, nigga. Do you? I guess you're doing this to catch attention. I get it. But we can do what we can do as researchers, if we can take snippets of this and we can learn from this. We can learn lessons from this. And this is the reason why I say Africans who come to this country, what he is saying, they look and absorb. They absorb everything. Mind you, not all. So we're going to stop it right here. And of course, I don't know what happened to my sound. You stupid son of a bitch. What happened to my sound? Hold on 1 second. Gotta get hit like the share and subscribe button. Believe me, it's gonna get a whole lot better because again, I've been gone for a couple of months because of certain situations I won't get into. But we all know what the deal is. Yeah. I'll put the link up just in case somebody wants to come up and have the conversation. But before I put up this next clip, I just want some questions to be answered. Are we really fighting for a position? Are we fighting to just draw a narrative out? Are we trying to figure? I mean, do we want to be one? Do we want to name ourselves as one specific person or one specific entity? What are we trying to do here? Because I am confused. I am very confused. We have all these specific names that we go by: FD, AD, ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves, FBA, Foundational Black Americans. And then, of course, there is Pan-African, and that was what I'm trying to be. The only Pan-Africans that I know specifically are Ifa Tunde and, of course, Booker T. Washington. Those are the Pacific ones. As you well know, I did an interview years ago, or it's been a year. I believe it's been about a year, with Dr. Ifa Tunde. And specifically, I'm paraphrasing that Pan-Africanism is global. Pan-African deals with all types of American indigenous, whether you're American, whether you're African, whether you're in China, which there's Black people in China, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in Spain, whether you're in Jamaica, Jamaican, Haitian. We migrated all over. And specifically, our mindset is not to kill any religions or any specific thing like that, but just become together as one. Because we are one under God. And what you're doing and what Mike TV is doing and what Chaotic Truth is doing, they're just doing the whole little separation thing. That's what we do on a daily, that's what they do on a daily basis anyway. When you come up with all these panels and all these conversations of, let's just say, for example, when are these Black women ever going to respect the Black man? That's separating. When are these men ever going to step up? I want some protection. I'm going to go out with a white man because none of y'all Negroes can do anything for me because y'all broke asses can't do shit for me. Separation. Total separation. And I said this a long time ago. Maybe we should separate from each other as Black men and Black women. Because see, if you can't get along here, if you can't agree to disagree on something, when you have these lies, and most of them, for the most part, they start off good, right? They start off great, but with this situation, I don't know. This is to me. I don't know if this is. I don't know. To me, this is worse. This is just what I'm thinking. This is just way worse. This is way worse than having a man on board conversation. Why did I say man on board? Man on woman conversation. That was a slip up. But anyway, But I will say this about this. Whenever a man speaks to his son about where he's from, make sure you have all the information that you need and is suitable to you. What makes sense to you? Because anything that is off course, he didn't end up finding out anyway. He might end up, this child may, when he grows up, may do research of their own. And that's all they do is they mature. That's what boys do. That's what girls do. They mature. And then they find shit out for themselves. And then they start to ask you questions. I just want to know, how do we make sense of this thing? Why is it that we can't get along at a big cliff? Why? Have any of us reacted or even had a conversation with an African who has came from Sudanese, or who has came from Ghana, who has came from Senegal, who has came from Sydney and all these other places? Ethiopia. I have Ethiopian friends and co-workers. I'm learning and studying Ethiopian. It's not that hard, easy. It's not that hard to learn, but we're going to learn this dummy ass English all the time. What are we saying about it? What are our children? Where do we go? Oh my God. Let me just find it. Now, I really don't want to. Let me play this then. Let me go in a different direction. Because while Derrell is, I don't know what he's doing. But maybe, and this is the reason why we have to have men and women of the same body, same mind, same mindset. We need to have them here. We need to have these people here. I want this channel to grow again. I want this channel to grow to the point where, okay, we can have conversation like this, but we can't argue amongst each other, and we definitely cannot call any names. Or we can't do the whole, you are African booty scratcher type of. We can't do all that. If that's the case, I can't deal with you. You're a tether. I don't know what that means, sir. What are you trying to say? Never mind. You got to go. You really have to go. This is Brother Umar from back then. And again, he has been to Africa dozens of times. Let's see what he says here.
Do you understand? So whether I'm in charge or whether he's in charge, you must fight the system, because it ain't about the face you see. It's about the mechanical order behind it. And we've forgotten that. And we've forgotten that. And we've forgotten that. And let me go on to Africa for a moment. Some of us think that they don't want us in Africa. I've been to Africa 3 times, 5, 6 countries. I've never ran into that yet. I'm going to tell you what they don't want in Africa. They don't want somebody with internalized racism going over there making more internalized the racists. That's what they don't want in Africa. If you're going to go, leave your basketballs here. They don't need them. Ladies, no disrespect, leave everything you got from Hing Ching Wong at your house. Don't bring it on the airport. They don't need that either. Because when I was in Johannesburg, South Africa, walking around in the hood, you know what I saw? I saw black sisters in these wooden-made perm factories, burning they skint, making a homemade lie, trying to look like you. I'm telling you what I saw with my own eyes. See, what black people have not grasped in America, you are the leaders of Africans around the globe culturally and financially. You gross $850 billion a year. You are the richest group of blacks on the face of the earth. There is no group of blacks who makes more money than the Negro in America. In fact, there's only 9 groups of people with more richness than you on earth. So there's only 9 groups of people who make more money than black Americans, Negro Americans, ex-slaves, whatever you want to call, because I don't know what an African American is.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So we gross over how much? Let's just say we gross over $63 trillion, I want to say, as black folks. But we don't own anything because we are consumers. We consume anything from MJs to perms to weed to clothing. You just unnecessarily just buying clothes just to buy clothes. When I buy clothes because I'm in need or it's just wearing down. It's just like buying socks. I just got to buy a pair of socks every 6 months because it just the cotton just tears apart easy. But certain stuff I can live off for at least a good 10 years. We can wear clothes, well, 10 years, but past 10 years. But I'm saying, what are we producing for ourselves here? That's the thing. We're the majority of people who make the most amount of money here in America, but don't produce shit. And as he said, we were responsible for all that, for everything that is African globally. So what if Africans were to come over here and say, we'll go ahead and share our resources with you if you can share money with us, or Americans will share our resources with you if you can share a little bit of money with us, because you do realize if Africa goes, so do you. You have no resources, nowhere to run to, no military, no nothing. It's back to slavery with you. Back to slavery. And then what are you going to do in the meantime? What are you going to do in the meantime when AI completely takes over? Have we not learned from Dr. John Henry Clark? Have we not learned from Dr. Ben? Have we not learned from Dr. Claude Anderson when it comes to economics in this country? Have we not learned that once you step outside your borders, which is the African American community as a whole, and you go outside those borders to get along with white folks, sharing all your resources with white folks, mating with white folks, then you're no different from the Ku Klux Klan. I'm just going to say it. You're no different from the Klan. You're no different from half of these Negroes out here who are dating white women anyway. You are no different. No different at all. it's sad, but it's sad, but at the same time, it's cool with me because me personally, I'm going to continue getting along with all my African friends. Let's see here. Well, I'm gonna continue to get along with all my African friends. Salute, salute. And right now, let's go here. Let's go here. I think I found what I'm looking for. Let's go here. And let's see what Africans. Now let's transition over to Africans. Let's see what they say. Let's go to this particular shout out to this particular person right here, the Oddity. And let's play this clip, shall we?
I do not, and I'm just going with the vibes, okay? And I love going with the vibes, but this video is okay. So you know the thing, I'm gonna respond to and say yes, and then continue watching the video. So step forward if you agree. In this one, I would have stepped forward. None of the Africans stepped forward. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's just evident in my last name, King. I mean, that's the brand of the slave owner that put that name on my family all those years ago, and I'm still wearing it in those ways, along with the compounded, economic disparity, social disparity, mental trauma, all of that.
I wonder if anyone has ever seen this particular clip before. The reaction between Africans and African Americans. I wonder if they've seen this particular clip before. And talking about how slavery affected them versus Africans versus African Americans, because let's just make this perfectly clear. So no feelings are being hurt or being misconstrued or we confused about some things. You know, we enslave Europeans too, just to let you know. But to me, there's a big difference from how they were being treated versus how our ancestors were being treated. But slavery is right all across the board. I agree. But then still, when we give you resources, when we give you water to drink, we give you food to eat, and we give you a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and we're being taken advantage of, the one thing that they had an advantage of is what? The gun. The gun was the great equalizer. But I don't want to spoil you. Let's get back to the video.
I mean, it's tethered forever.
So to go back to slavery and talk about post-traumatic stress disorder.
I don't know why, but I think I'm gonna like Skip, because Skip seems like one of those pro-Black activist, learned professors who are like the coolest sort of people in college. So I like Skip.
It has never stopped. So there's no post. What my great-grandparents were teaching my grandparents, who taught my mother, who taught me, came from what they learned through slavery. So there's a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity, a fear of society, a fear of law enforcement. So slavery has made a major impact where the low self-esteem is consistently reoccurring. I think for me, growing up in Los Angeles, California in the early 1960s, there was a stereotype that I didn't want to be Black. I didn't want to be African because we come from Africa or we're slaves. So I want to be a Chinese boy. I want to be Bruce Lee. So growing up like that, I didn't like myself and who I was. I didn't like the color of my skin or the way that I spoke. So I emulated other people. I want to be something that I was not.
It's very saddening when you can literally only go back a couple generations, and then it's like the documents just don't exist. There's no record. It's like, my family has completely been erased. In that same point too, in the time that we've been here, we've created an incredible culture, and we have so many things to be proud of. And I always reframe the narrative myself, and I speak of my ancestors that were enslaved as, doctors and healers. And it's like, we were taken because we were talented, because we had skills to offer. We built this country, so.
And still building.
It's still building. That's something to take pride in, so.
Can the disagree step forward?
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous about
300,000 of my people because
see that's slavery affecting your family, colonization and the era of slavery throughout time. Just saying.
Like, I am Bamileke. There was a massacre of Bamileke. You guys can look it up. They killed more than 300,000 of my people because
see that's slavery affecting your family. Colonization was a product as well,
but it's still nothing compared to what you guys ancestors.
I hate. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up.
Like been through,
I wouldn't want to minimize that pain. What you just said hurt me. That 300,000 people were.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go so deep in this video. One of the biggest things that always stresses me out is this lack of understanding, especially with Africans, about how much our people have suffered. There's no storytelling to encompass what we go through. And what I mean by that is within Western civilization, any war that's been fought was documented properly. Meaning you've read books and books, you've said it, you've heard it in class. They literally tell you X, Y, and Z was murdered, bullets are flying. They present emotion to you to where you feel like you feel their plight in those situations. For our people, we don't have that history. When people are saying like, oh, 1 million Africans died here, there's no reaction because we don't even know what that feels like. We see it. We've not been able to pass those stories down to our people in a very impactful way that allows them to understand the true issues of our time. Give an example like Nigeria. The biggest thing is Biafra War. Igbos can tell you very much how impactful that war was for their families till today. But for a lot of other Nigerians, especially other tribes, we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, it was horrible. They're not enough text, there's not enough books, there's not enough conversations that happen about these insanely brutal wars that happen to our people. We don't.
And she's right. We only know about the wars. Well, let me get back to this. We only know about the wars that we have here in America. World War I, the war on Chaperone. She is absolutely stunning, but that voice is getting on my nerves. I love my sister, but we got World War I, World War II. We about to get in World War III with this whole the Israel thing, the Civil War, and of course the war we have here in America, the Vietnam War. We lost Vietnam. Well, all our brothers and sisters, I just want to say salute to you who's ever serving in the military. I've had cousins, I've had relatives, I have best friends who has served over there, Vietnam War. I even have my great-grandfather, and my grandfather were military vets. So the wars that we speak on, we only speak on over here. We don't never get into conversations like they're having right now over the wars over there in Africa, where they get bombed on every single day in certain areas of the country. Right? We don't never get into the conversations about church bombings and school bombings over there in Africa. We don't get into those conversations. We don't never share our pain with their pain. Why? What they get over there is no different from what we get over here. The only thing is, when we got to go to war, some of us are drafted in, and most of us never come home. Never come home to our loved one. They always say, tour is almost up, because they always take a tour. The tour is almost up, and then all of a sudden, no, you got to stay a little bit longer. And you wonder why we come home with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It would be so different if we can share one another's pains and instead of hatreds. Resources, mind you, resources. Because what is going on now, you're letting white folks tell you, you're letting the European folks tell your story. And I don't want another European person telling our fucking story. It's just, I don't like, because they can literally say anything. There are only a few people who actually get it right. But the rest of them, it goes to NBC, CNN, Fox News, and they don't never tell the truth. They don't never tell the truth because they always got their little fundamental bums. They got their blacks, per se, telling our freaking stories. This is the reason why there is a such thing as a black, a black radio. This is the reason why you can come to YouTube. But guess what? We need to be careful because YouTube, as much as it is helpful, it's also harmful too. Because we all know who owns YouTube. So I want to say, let's just be cautious of what we put out there. But we're going to put the truth out there.
Talk about it. And that to me is my biggest issue, because then you see Africans come and be like, oh, we didn't suffer. We've suffered! When I tell you we've suffered, yo, in history, our people are constantly being killed. And there's no empathy. There is, of course, but it's not enough. And I feel that's my biggest issue. It's going to be a lot of
killed because they would not conform to the colonization of the French people. So that is just as painful and hurtful as the trauma that we suffered here in America.
Absolutely.
I can't share the same experience that you have went through and your family.
And I also want to say, you get killed here in America often every day, whether it be police brutality and or each other, and or stealing of your babies and ripping out their organs and selling them to the highest market, or stealing your babies and turning them into prostitutes, and you will never see them again. They're killing us, you're killing us. So what do you think their stories? What do you think? Do you think their story is lightweight?
Family.
She's South African? How you gonna say you can't share the same experience with your South African girl?
Though we also had our own
That voice. But I love my sisters, so I'm gonna keep going.
type of slavery. We had apartheid at the time, you know, where the Dutch people took over. And
we're so accepting of the pain that we go through. I'm so sorry. I feel like it's gonna be such a long video, but our people are so accepting of the pain we go through. I don't like that. I want us to be understanding of the impact that it is. As a South African, apartheid is nothing. It's just not nothing. It's a lot. It's a lot. So you can't compare, because even apartheid is still going on right now. I'm pretty sure she's gonna mention
wanted to just have South Africa, Namibia, and I think other countries where we could only just speak Dutch. It's somehow still happening even now.
Yes,
There's like
I know it's still happening
in South Africa where it's called Oranje, you know, and it's just Dutch people there. No black person is even allowed there. So we still somehow feel that oppression even now, but it's nothing compared to what your ancestral history, you know, has gone through. I'm somehow happy that you guys have forgiven it, even though you haven't forgotten it.
No, I haven't, but I want to work through the change. But no, I have not forgiven, because it's a system that's still going on. And from what I'm hearing from you guys, there's a system that's still going on in Africa as well. And it's a war on us.
Racism is the main cause of poverty among Black people in America.
And what is that system? What say you? White supremacy. White supremacy is global. White supremacy holds the record of your dollars, your tax dollars, holds the record of your bonds, specifically made your licenses along with your social security. They know who you are through your bonds. They know who you are when you first come into this world. Your foot is stamped, sealed, because they know who you are through your parents, through your grandparents, through your ancestry. They know who you are, but you don't.
I'm gonna step forward. Okay,
Racism
Kim
is a
did
very
step
big
forward.
issue that talking about it, I'm really trying to be careful to not like say anything that will be insensitive. If opportunity is right here, they will give it to people of other race than African American and Africans too. So if there's a job that maybe have math requirement, I feel like they'll pick an Asian person, or they believe all African Americans will not dress appropriate, so they will pick another person. They will always like pick people that are not Black over people that are Black.
I also think I think the crucial missing point when we talk about economic disparity, time is the most valuable currency. And if you have like a stock that's like the American dream is the stock, and you know during all that time, all that asset, the American dream was appreciating. And you're not allowed to take out business loans. You're not allowed to read. You're not allowed to write. You have to first fight to become 3 physicists, and then you got Jim Crow, and then you got everything else. It's like you're now having to buy in at a price so high because the time is irreparable. You can't get that back.
All the laws that they had put in throughout the years, all the diseases they have given, all the experiments that has been done to us as a people. But you don't see this. You don't see this because you're paying attention to what us people here in America have produced. So you figure once we claim a religion, because that's what I proclaim FBA to be, a religion, not being as one, but being a religion. Once everybody starts claiming FBA, Foundational Black Americans, we can attend to fight for our reparations. I want to ask a question real quick. How long have we been fighting for reparations? It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been decades. Don't you think it's about high time we let this die out? They're not going to give it to you. They're just not. They're not going to give you reparations. They'll give your counterparts reparations, but they ain't going to, not counterparts, they're going to give your competition reparations, but it's you know, we feel your pain, or it's going to be, we have no, we didn't, we're responsible for what happened to you back in them days. It's always something. And the reason why you're not getting reparations is you're fighting back and forth. You don't even know who you are. You're this. You're good. You'll probably be this. You'll probably be that. You'll probably be this. You'll probably be that. You'll probably be this. You'll probably be that. Let's think of one thing that we can be proud of. I think Pan-African is the greatest choice, because we love all of our brothers and sisters from all continents, from all walks of life, whether you're black, blue, purple, or the lightest of the light skin, whether you're Sudanese, whether you're American, whether you're Jamaican, Haitian, whether you're Ethiopian, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Black person today cannot in one lifetime achieve what generations of white families were able to do simply because they didn't have to compete with us to do it.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, I was thinking, just like you said, from a historical standpoint, we start with slavery, and that's centuries, generations of stolen labor, like you said. Then we get into Jim Crow, which is just an extension of that.
It takes a while for you to understand, especially as Africans. When you come to America, you realize pretty quickly that you're not meant to succeed here. Everything on ground is not for you to succeed, especially for African Americans. Nothing is built for Black people in mind. The judicial system, school, the educational system. And once you understand that, it makes it much easier to understand why it's so much more harder for Black people to survive in this country. I said what I said, and I meant it.
And we have mass incarceration. We have events like the bombing of Tulsa and Rosewood in Florida, and all these different examples of our world being decimated. And I don't say that to come from a defeatist or a victim mindset, but I think if we just have an honest conversation about history and what we've gone through when we've been here, racism is definitely a big part of that. And there are a lot of successful Black Americans, a lot of millionaires, a lot of business owners, but they're exceptions for sure for a reason. And there's a big difference between income and wealth. I would like to challenge the ideal that African Americans are lazy or that we don't have a good work ethic. I think there's this perception that
there are lazy people and there are people who don't have work ethics in every freaking race. Human beings, what are we talking? Human beings can't be lazy, and it has nothing to do with their race. It's just people being lazy.
We're here, we're in America. How are we not doing better for ourselves? So.
Those are fighting weights. Whenever time you hear somebody say, we some lazy son bitches, those are extreme fighting words, because every platform that I've listened, every live stream that I listen to, every platform that I've been on, they all say the same thing. We're hardworking. We have much better resources. We got much better resources because you had to work hard for what you do. Blah 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 blah. Even a six-figure nigga to this very day has to be careful and cautious because inflation has gone up. A lot of things have gone up since then. Rent has gone up, gas has gone up, food has gone up, and you're sitting here saying, what? Oh, we have much better resources. Where? Idiot, they want you to work. They They present it to you now. They say, here, we don't want these jobs. Here, you take them. Because guess what? They're in wealth. That's why. They been had those jobs already. They've been had the carpentry job. They've been had the electricity jobs, the plumbing jobs, the what you call it, the STEM. The STEM program. But guess what? They're growing they know how to grow their money. They're just giving it to you. It's like, here, go on. Earn it. Earn it just like we did. Just earn it. Earn each and every single dollar. Now, here's the problem. Depending on where you are, how much work is going to be put in. Every job has a position, depending upon the position where you are, they're going to call you and they're going to say, we need your services, sir, ma'am. Because there are a lot of people grabbing those particular resources. Back then, they didn't want to give it to you. But now that you're here and now that they're making money hand over fist, I'm talking about your oppressors, not mine. They want to, they just say, here, take it. That's why I say this information is tainted. If we would have had long ago, just say, you know what, we're gonna do these things for ourselves. Once we have these jobs, and I'm talking about my generation and the millennials, once we have these particular jobs, and once we need to tell the people that, yo, if you have in a position of power, say you own a farmer's market, say you own a hotel, say you own I don't know, a farm. We're too fucking lazy to take over those positions because we just want everything to be easy, or we want everything to just be handed over and not put in any work. Us Gen X's, we were making money hand over fist. We were making money. But yet, some of us didn't want it. Some of us just sold it off for money. So to just to think that, you know, we're gonna live off in the beach for the rest of our lives. We're gonna live in this house for the rest of our lives. Just pay taxes on our houses, pay taxes on our land, and just we'll just live comfortably. Wrong. Why do you think the old heads, which you disrespectful some bitches, often say, you old heads just need to die off so we can solve things for ourselves? Wrong. As the Bible says, you think you're knowledgeable, but you really don't know shit. You really don't. You really fucking don't. And this is the reason why I don't. I listen. I listen from a distance, and I start laughing. I was like, you really think you know what's going on? Again, they just provide you these resources. They provide you these resources, and guess what? You're way back behind. They're up here while you guys are down here catching inflation like hell. And you're going to have to work twice as hard, baby. You're going to have to work twice as hard. And you think that paycheck, you looking at that paycheck's like, damn. This is the money I'm making right now, especially when you're young. These Gen Z motherfuckers. You looking at your paycheck, it's like, damn, yeah. I'm liking that. I'm making like $30 I'm making $30, $40 an hour. And you wonder why your shit goes like this. Why y'all, if you making all that money, why are you still miserable? And it goes to, it goes from that, I'm making money to, I'm not going to let this chick F it up for me. See, this is the reason why I ain't going to get married. What do you think? Woo! Africans come over here, mind their own freaking business. They work a 9 to 5 just as much as you do. And y'all come over here, you claim they come over here with attitudes where, quite frankly, they're absorbing what you put out there. Fighting and cussing and doing all types of weird shit, but until we can come to some common ground to the point where it's like, I understand where you're coming from. It's like, let's share our resources together. Until we can do that, ain't nothing. We're just gonna continue to argue amongst ourselves, and hey.
Okay, I want to hear what Kip says, because Kip is an older black gentleman.
I thought I was going to be the only one staying. I was going to be like, oh, I'm about to be like Kanye West, but okay.
Not Kanye West.
There's an excuse to hold us back, not to
that's the usual excuse,
but it's up to us to look past that. Me coming from
I don't like the rhetoric of look past racism because it's not an excuse. When I'm driving down the road and a cop car stops me, no matter if I start speaking like I'm not from here, no matter if I have a gele and an entire, I show myself that I'm not from here, I promise you, that man is still gonna treat me like a black person in America. If I'm gonna buy a house, if I'm gonna open a bank account, they're gonna treat me like a black person. Period.
God came here to better my life.
And the cop car stops me, no matter if I start speaking like I'm not from here, no matter if I have a gele and an entire, I show myself that I'm not from here, I promise you, that man is still gonna treat me like a black person in America. If I'm gonna buy a house, if I'm gonna open a bank account, they're gonna treat me like a black person here. Period.
I don't know what happened to this house. Better my life, my family. I'm the only one here. And since I've been here, there's a lot of bad things that happened to me. There's also a lot of good things that happened to us, African or African.
It doesn't negate that it still affects what you're going.
And I just focus on what we want to achieve. We need to stop using the word racism when we don't get something or put something our way. And just keep trying.
No,
let me jump in real quick.
Okay.
No disrespect, but racism exists, and I have to acknowledge it. And I can't just ignore it. But what I can do is not buy into the system. You know, if I want to do something, let me be the entrepreneur. What I believe happened in the 1960s is that we started looking for equal rights, to be equal with other people. And what we stopped doing, and I heard you talk about Tulsa, we stopped using the black-owned businesses. Now, because you guys got to understand, the Fair
Come on, Uncle Skip.
Housing Act in 1968, I'm 5 years old. That's when we could move off the east side of LA and move into other subcultures. Yeah. So what I wanted to do at 8 years old was go to IHOP. I didn't want to go to the mom and pop restaurant anymore. I wanted to go to, let's go eat at the hotels. So what we did is stop supporting each other and started supporting corporate America. So the racism plays a major part, but we don't have to buy into it.
I've been waiting to disagree with you, my brother. I'm waiting patiently.
Nigerians!
The thing is,
waiting to fight
even though I want to disagree with you, I get where you're coming from. When I see black people talking about racism, all that stuff, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? You guys have food, you have EBT, all these things, and you're here shouting about somebody is racist. You just leave that person and move on. I feel that way. Like, why are they always like complaining? But when Black Lives Matters started happening, like I sat down, I said, I need to actually know why these people are paying. And if we look at the history, what they've done.
Not me and Elizabeth being blonde, my eyebrows, her hair, boom. I knew we were connected.
To them. Like, if you actually sit down, watch some documentaries, how they were not treated. I don't think if I'm actually born, I will forgive those people. I don't care. It's easier for us Africans that were raised in Africa to feel like.
Woman, I love you, but please be quiet. I'm trying to listen.
Because we were raised to struggle. I barely even have water, and you have water, you are complaining. But then it's not about the basic necessity or about how we are raised. We are raised like, I don't want to say way better. We might not have resources, but there's some way, like our own people will not look down on us or put us behind. So it's in they're nurtured that way. Like they just can't overlook it. And if you sit down and watch everything that the forefathers have been through for you, I changed my mind. No, they need to be angry. However, they should still move forward.
I mean, we have police brutality back home too. True. We have.
See, what we're not gonna do is Oppression Olympics. Oh, why are you crying? Because they're beating me up too. They shouldn't be beating anybody. Nobody.
She's doing this so she won't get a copyright strike. All she had to do is put the fair use sign on that son, bitch. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Like, what the? Come on now. Come on, I got shit to do. But I get it. Play a few more minutes of this and then we'll call it a wrap.
Should be getting beat up. There should not be police brutality anywhere.
Like, if you go to Cameroon,
and our police brutality is not because of racism. Our police brutality is because of capitalism and the structures in place. You know what?
and then you see how the police officer treat us, and they're black just like us. You're not even gonna.
Yeah, but that is because of racism. I hope people understand that. Like when you go to other African countries and these countries practice xenophobia, where they say, oh, because you're Nigerian, you can't come in. You do realize that that is a product of colonization, right? We've been raised and taught we have to compete with one another. And that's what we're still battling till today. A lot of us are still landlocked in our ideals of what these taught us. It's Black History Month. All of us are Black. We need to get along.
Yeah. You know, and in Cameroon we have this. Have you guys heard of the word like tribalism? So
yeah, it happens in Nigeria.
Yeah, so we do
tribalism compared to racism. Come on, first of all, do we understand that racism is prejudice in actions, like literal intentional actions against a particular type of group? You're intentionally limiting their things. Tribalism is the same way, but that's within a group of people who are from the same country. Racism is because of their race, like because you look the way you do, they're gonna act a certain way. There's hundreds of years of history there of these people constantly beating down on your own people.
Get oppressed too.
Let's not compare
exactly. So when I'm saying like we need to like look past that, I'm not saying forget what happened to you guys or me. At the end of the day, we cannot just sit and
but nobody's sitting.
Grieve on the past.
Nobody's grieving.
But not forget. If I could choose a place to live, it would obviously be my country. I love
your
my
name
country.
Is Prosper. You don't want to prosper by saying the nonsense you're saying.
My country is not the best choice for me.
Yeah.
And then it became where people rapped about what they had been through, what they had gotten over.
Oh,
you know,
this is a fantastic way to say that.
Okay. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to let me see. That was approximately 17 minutes and 14 seconds. Okay. We're going to find some other person. No disrespect to this lady. It's just their voice. We're over the 2-minute mark. And I got to go get suited and booted. There will be a part 2. But remember, ask yourself, are we separate or are we together? Can we come together? That's the proper label. Can we come together, or is it going to continue just tearing each other apart? As African and African American, that's one of my greatest questions. Just one of the questions I want to ask. Part 2 will be tomorrow. And I and wait, because I gotta get my feet back in the game. Can we come together, or we're gonna continue to tear each other apart? As African and African American, I believe that we can truly come together as what? AfriKan. Nothing else matters. Deuces.